Hey Vegas
Realty
what
Check,
happens
your
when
go-to
bad
source
loans,
for all
fake
things real estate
appraisals,
in the
and
heart of Las
zero-down
Vegas.
homes
Trish and Courtney will be sharing the latest news, some handy tips, and provide expert advice on the ever-changing market numbers. They are all about making real estate simple and accessible for you, and are here to answer your burning questions. Stay tuned to Vegas Realty Check for all your Las Vegas real estate needs.
And nearly took the economy with it. It's the dark side of real estate you shouldn't have been able to see, but we all seen it happen. Stay tuned as we get into that. Welcome back, Vegas, and welcome back, Courtney. Thank you for being here again this week. How has your week been?
It has been busy trying to get some loans to, get approved. And, a lot of first-time home buyers are trying to get new houses and looking at down payment assistance programs. So a lot going on. And I think that segues into a lot of other things.
The Fed met yesterday. And let's just get this out in the open. Hashtag fire Jerome Powell. Let's get rid of this dude. He's got to go. He is stubborn and should have dropped the rates, but he did not.
This should have done a lot of things, but either way, and let's just talk about that really quickly. I mean, since I've been on this podcast, it's at least been 6 months, and we really haven't seen much of any rate change. The rates, the national averages have been right around 6.8. They've gone up a little bit at times to like a 7.2, came back down to maybe a 6.8. So we've really stayed in the same realm as far as like a 30-year. We're sitting the same right at a 6.8 as a national average. VA, FHA right around a 6.4. So we're just not seeing a ton of movement. Obviously, we all can't wait for those to come down so we can get more people into houses. It's just getting harder and harder, especially for first-time home buyers to qualify.
Yeah, and you have some stats on that as far as the average age of a first-time home buyer,
yep,
right?
So that leads me right into some of our news. There was just a few different, things that came out saying that back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, the average home owner was right around 31. Now the average homeowner is at 56.
Yeah, and I bought my first home in 1997 when I was 18 years old.
That's great.
For $136,000. So, that's...
Do you remember how much your mortgage was?
$700 and something per month. I had a 7.5% rate, but at that price it didn't really, make a big difference. It's not, right now we're at a median home price of $458,000. Big difference in payments.
Absolutely.
So it definitely, those 18-year-olds fresh out of high school don't have the income to qualify.
And that's another thing I want to address. I know a lot of people feel that the rates are very high, but there was mortgages that were sometimes 13.5%. Years and years ago, that wasn't such a crazy thing.
Yeah.
To pay a lot more.
It's just combined with where home prices are right now. It just makes it very unaffordable. And, it's income and getting established income that can make you the type of money that you need to purchase a home.
Absolutely. And so, and I think we discussed this last week, the average income needs to be somewhere around $113,000 for you to be able to afford what the home values are now. Just an average home is sitting right at $480,000?
$486,000 is median home price. So yeah, where, there's definitely condos, townhouses, and things like that are a little bit lower, but that's, for a single family home, that's the median home price.
And so 31 to 56, huge change, but that's not crazy considering where the prices are right now and the rates.
Yeah. What else we have in news?
The other one is, which is no shock to, going off of last week, what we were talking about, there's a ton of homes on the market and there's not as many buyers. So right now it says every 1 out of 2 homeowners is willing to give seller concessions of some sort, or 44.4%.
Yeah. And that's on homes on the market right now. We're at 67.49 in single family, which is up 118 from last week, and up 56 on condos and townhomes, 25.47. So a lot of inventory out there. Another news headline before we get into all the inventory was we are in the top 4. Nevada is of psychopaths.
That's an interesting study. I'm not surprised, though.
Yeah, Men's Journal apparently did a study or whatever of like the top states that had like the most psychopaths in it. And hey, Nevada, we hit it. So I'm not surprised. I've met some of the people running around the streets out there, and yeah, there's some crazies.
I love it. If you ever want to just watch like a real life saga, one of my friends told me about this Facebook group called, and it just kind of goes to show who is in Las Vegas. There's a website called Are We Dating the Same Person?
Oh, I've heard of that.
Oh yeah. My, if you just want like real life drama, it's just so funny there's just so much and about how all these men are like nuts, and not only are men nuts though, but there's also women here that are like that too, so.
That is terrible. If you're dating or married to somebody and you have to find them on that website, that is terrible.
But I think more of it's like people on dating apps, and then it's like, did you talk? It's just, but it goes back to, listen, we live in Las Vegas. There's a lot going on here, so I'm not so surprised by that statistic.
Yeah. So lots of crazies.
That there is. And then new listings on the market, 1,257, which is 195 more than we were at last week.
Yeah, price decreases up 165 at 1,327. So sellers are dropping those prices, and it's so necessary in this market right now because people that are buying bargains. They're buying buying the homes that are a deal, and if you're not giving them a deal, they're moving on to the next.
Yep, absolutely. And then we have 800 and 200 contract, which is 85 more than last week. So at least we're seeing a little bit of movement there. People are coming down on prices, and you know, if it's the right price, people are putting in offers.
Yeah, 658 sold. It's down 88 from last week, but not zero. So
that's good news.
We still, even though our sales numbers right now are at the lowest point since March of 2020. And March of 2020 is when the world shut down. So our sales numbers aren't looking that great right now, but we still have a little bit of movement. So that's good. Yeah. But speaking of that, we have a great show for you today because up next, we're going to talk about how Las Vegas became ground zero for the huge crash that happened in 2008, 2009. So we're going to get into what caused that, how it happened, and hopefully how it's not going to happen again.
Right?
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey Vegas! Celebrate every day in style at the Composer's Room. From live music to comedy shows, we've got entertainment that'll give you that Las Vegas vibe. Our tavern serves the best drinks in Vegas. Whether you're a cocktail connoisseur or a beer buff, our bartenders got you covered. And let's not forget about the food. Our culinary delights are sure to tantalize your taste buds. Come for the entertainment and stay for the food. Reserve your visit to the Composer's Room today and start celebrating Las Vegas our way.
Looking for a night out that's pure Vegas? Welcome to Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, voted best comedy club in Las Vegas. Located at the Link Promenade, just steps from the High Roller, it's your ticket to big laughs from top comics handpicked by Jimmy Kimmel himself. No two shows are alike. Every night's a headliner, and every seat's a great one. Get your laughs at the best. Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, only in Vegas, only at the Link.
Hey Vegas! Celebrate every day in style at the Composer's Room. From live music to comedy shows, we've got entertainment that'll give you that Las Vegas vibe. Our tavern serves the best drinks in Vegas. Whether you're a cocktail connoisseur or a beer buff, our bartenders got you covered. And let's not forget about the food. Our culinary delights are sure to tantalize your taste buds. Come for the entertainment and stay for the food. Reserve your visit to the Composer's Room today and start celebrating Las Vegas our way.
Every home has a story. What's yours? From your first home to your forever home, Trish Williams helps you write each chapter. Real estate is about the life you build. Hire Trish to be part of your story. Trish Williams, Keller-Williams Realty. License S.01755530, call 702-308-2878. Start your next chapter today.
Speculators, bad loans, overbuilding, a fragile economy, all of that equals Vegas being one of the epicenters of the 2008 crash. So let's talk about that. Let's get into what happened, what's different now, and what factors contributed to it, and hopefully why we can have some hope that that's not the environment that we're in right now.
Absolutely, and not that I want to capitalize on what happened in 08, 09. I just wish I would have bought a house then.
Oh my gosh, I know. Just looking back, I remember just having this feeling when everything was like at rock bottom, like everything was so cheap, but just having this feeling of like, is it ever going to come back? Because people lost hope. And there were some people that did have a lot of optimism, and those people definitely benefited greatly from that choice.
And I think there was a lot of people too who lost everything during that time as well.
Yeah.
So, a lot of heartache, and some people gained a lot of things at that time too. I know people who were buying beautiful houses like way up in Anthem and Sparata for nothing. $120,000, $130,000.
Yeah, and Las Vegas home prices had lost 60% of their value on average. So we were one of the biggest hit of all the cities in the country during that time. Mm-hmm. They said that there was an average of 1 in every 8 homes in Las Vegas was short seller bank owned.
Yeah, it was just so bad, and there's so many things that contributed to that. It wasn't just here. Obviously, we were hit definitely one of the hardest, but what really contributed to that was what we call subprime lending. That definitely had a huge impact, which has had a huge impact on how we have to do loans now. Too bad I was not in that, in the industry back then, because I heard some stories before that happened and how easy it was to get loans done. But really what that means is subprime lending is essentially lending to people who are lower income, much higher risk as far as credit, that probably should have not been approved for what they were approved for, whether it be the loan in general or the amount that they were approved for. It was just a much higher risk environment, and lenders were doing it. If they could get away with it, they were doing it, and they weren't really too concerned as far as who was going to pay it back and if it was going to be paid back.
And I heard of extreme situations where people had purchased homes in their dog's name and things like that. There was really not much verification documentation required to purchase a home. As long as you put your down payment, you can have things move forward.
So they would sometimes just look at credit. Do they have a little bit of money? And that was sometimes. If they could make money off of it and someone wanted a house, they were finding a way to really get them into the house. And they knew they were higher risk, but there was no, which we'll go over in a moment, but what's called now ability to repay. There's a whole checks and balances of what an underwriter has to go through now. And unfortunately, it's just so much stricter to get a loan closed now. And that really comes from this time, 08, 09.
Yeah. And so many people were buying these homes, doing these, I guess, fraudulent loans or, whatever, they called them liar loans, doing these liar loans because they were buying a home for the intent of flipping it, reselling it, because the prices were going up so quickly that it was just everyone was just seeing the benefit of the values increasing. And when that stopped happening, they all defaulted.
Pretty much, and there was so many reasons why. Just going back to most of the people who got these loans in an environment now would have not even qualified. there just wasn't as many legalities on how long you have to be in a primary or any of those things. And so a lot of people that maybe weren't so well off or had really low credit scores were also getting into loans, and they didn't understand what they were even purchasing or what their loan terms were or what it meant to have an ARM, and that their interest rate was going to change.
Yeah, and so ARMs were a lot different back then than they are now. ARM is an adjustable rate mortgage.
Correct.
And that's what got a lot of people into trouble too. And they had these teaser rates. For instance, I know of a situation of someone who had starting off with a 2% rate. Sounded great. A couple of years later, that rate went up to 9%.
Absolutely.
So while ARMs are still in our market now, their terms are a lot safer. Correct?
Yeah, you're not going to see drastic rate differences like that. And ARMs are really not as rare now, unless for whatever reason someone is almost sure they're only going to be in a house for a short amount of time. It's some type of investor who has a goal of getting rid of a house within a certain amount of time. It's pretty rare you see a lot of ARMs being done. But back then, people were getting in at a mortgage payment that might have been $1,200. And, that might have been doable. And then 3 years later, now their payment's $1,700 and they couldn't afford to make the payment.
Yeah. And once the equity was gone, because a lot of times when people were getting them into these ARMs, they were saying, don't worry, you can refinance before the rate goes up. Mm-hmm. And the trouble with that was homes lost their value. And once they lost their value, you could not refinance that loan because it wasn't appraising at the price, the price of the balance of the loan. So that prevented the option of a refinance. So you were essentially stuck in that rate. That's why people had no choice but to default when they couldn't afford those payments anymore.
Absolutely. And back then, too, which is totally different today. Today, now, if we have to get an appraisal done, we have to send it to a third party who we don't speak to. And they literally put it in a raffle where an appraiser can pick it up. And there's usually a few different companies, and there's like 20 different appraisers. We don't talk to them. No one else talks to them. Outside of them, getting the money and them getting, paid, it's a very like a middleman essentially. And so we just don't have any contact, as well as the seller, the buyer. Back then, you could hire your best friend to go, as long as he's an appraiser, go appraise the property and make sure that it comes in at.
And I heard some appraisers went to jail over that.
I've heard that as well, yep.
And that was, because they were getting paid off or getting incentivized to make sure the home appraised at the value that
it needed to be.
It needed to be. Yeah, that is insane. Yeah. Just knowing all the regulations that we have in today's market. So essentially in today's market, because of what we learned from the crash, we have a lot more safeguards in place to make sure something like this does not happen again. So the industry did change quite a bit from that time till now.
And it's made, I don't want to say our job harder, but we definitely have to get more things to be able to get a loan to the finish line. And it's not necessarily because we want to, but underwriters have to do what's called, there's checks and balances called ability to repay. Mm-hmm. So there's all these different things now that they have to check, and they're actually looking for 8 different things that are very, very important. It's going to be current and reasonable, meaning their income and assets have to make sense for the loan that they're getting.
Right.
They can't be getting $1 million loan, but they're making, $20 an hour. Things have to add up. Current employment status. Their employment has to make sense as well, unless they're retired. Are they working? Do they have a work history? Monthly payments. What is their principal interest, and does it correlate to their debt and their income? So there has to be some type of correlation.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then obviously look at the debt obligations as far as what they have going on debt-wise, their debt to income. And then we actually do check verification of employment.
Wow.
So back then, they didn't check it. There was people, and it's like a joke, but I've heard of people doing loans that said, there was people who would literally write their income on a napkin.
Yeah. So I, during that time, I ended up buying, a townhouse during the crash, and that was a foreclosure or whatever. But right before that, during like the bubble or the big boom of it, I remember looking and I was very at the time I was a single mom and just very payment cautious. Mm-hmm. And the amount that, they were telling me I could qualify for, I was like, I don't even know how I would afford that. And the person I was talking to told me to just write down on the application that my income was this amount. But I was like, that just doesn't make sense because I can't afford it. So why would I want that?
So it was literally called stated income. You state what your income was.
Yeah, they were telling me what numbers to put in.
And they're just like, going to believe you. So if you made $100,000, you write down, you made $100,000, and that was what it was.
So luckily I had the conservative mind that I have right now. And I was like, I just don't think I want to get into something I can't afford. That doesn't sound like it's a good plan. Some people thought it was a good plan, but I'm glad I waited through and didn't get involved in that at that time. But yeah, that was common.
And there's so many now. We have to keep everyone up to date on closing disclosures and initial disclosures, and it's a really, really a big deal now that we have to keep the buyer in the know of everything that's going on. So a lot has changed. And like I said, are there people who are annoyed that we need this document and that document? And why do we need a Social Security benefit letter if it shows it being, added into their bank statement? Like, it just is overboard. And I don't disagree, but unfortunately now there's so many guidelines because of what happened in 08 and 09 that are a good thing to keep people safe, but it can be frustrating when we do have to ask for so many documents and things like that. If you haven't gotten a house since the early 2000s and now you're like, I have to provide all of this, you think it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And there's a couple factors that right now with the market that we're in right now, which we're definitely in a downturn. That's no question about that. Mm-hmm. We are in a down market right now, but so many people say, oh my gosh, is it a crash? Is it going to crash? Is it going to be a repeat? Yeah. I don't see that as even being a possibility for a few reasons. One of the reasons being in 2008, 2009, there was a lot of no down payment loans. A lot of people didn't have skin in the game at all, or very minimal if they did. And so they're buying these homes, they're buying them to flip them, buying them for whatever reason, but not putting much into them. Yeah. In today's world market, there is so much equity. If you look at so many people who have homes and so many homeowners right now, they're sitting on a lot of equity, whether they invested it into it or it was organic equity that was gained over time, but it's not overnight equity either. It's not equity that was like, that came within the last 12 months. So it's, we have a lot more people that have something substantial there. And
that actually circles back to when I was talking about the average home price went from 31 to 56. And it says because baby boomers are holding on to their homes that they got because there's so much equity in it. What they got it for was so much more affordable. So it's making it harder for like millennials and Gen Zs to really purchase things at a super reasonable price.
Yeah, and when somebody has a lower loan balance than their home value, or they invested a lot, because we've seen over recent years, so many people put huge down payments on their homes, whether it was cash out from another home or whether it was their own savings. This is money that they would, if they were to default, they're walking away from their investment that they invested into this house. I just don't see that as being a common, people, if you don't have skin in the game, it's easy to default. You didn't put anything in it. Yep. It's easy to walk away. We don't have those type of homeowners in this market.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, so I think that's can put people at ease. And while markets will always have a downturn, and I believe we are definitely in a downturn, they usually last 2 to 3 years, and if that is the case, we're in about the third year of it. So hopefully it's
coming out.
It's coming out. We're getting out of it. But I just don't see that type of crash. I don't think that we're ever going to see that in our lifetime.
Yeah, which is
again. So
knock on wood.
It'd be great for investments, but
true.
But not great for everybody else. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more information on us and the show.
Hey Vegas! Celebrate every day in style at the Composer's Room. From live music to comedy shows, we've got entertainment that'll give you that Las Vegas vibe. Our tavern serves the best drinks in Vegas. Whether you're a cocktail connoisseur or a beer buff, our bartenders got you covered. And let's not forget about the food. Our culinary delights are sure to tantalize your taste buds. Come for the entertainment and stay for the food. Reserve your visit to the Composer's Room today and start celebrating Las Vegas our way.
Looking for a night out that's pure Vegas? Welcome to Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, voted best comedy club in Las Vegas. Located at the Link Promenade, just steps from the High Roller, it's your ticket to big laughs from top comics handpicked by Jimmy Kimmel himself. No two shows are alike. Every night's a headliner, and every seat's a great one. Get your laughs at the best. Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, only in Vegas, only at the Link.
Hey Vegas! Celebrate every day in style at the Composer's Room. From live music to comedy shows, we've got entertainment that'll give you that Las Vegas vibe. Our tavern serves the best drinks in Vegas. Whether you're a cocktail connoisseur or a beer buff, our bartenders got you covered. And let's not forget about the food. Our culinary delights are sure to tantalize your taste buds. Come for the entertainment and stay for the food. Reserve your visit to the Composer's Room today and start celebrating Las Vegas our way.
Every home has a story. What's yours? From your first home to your forever home, Trish Williams helps you write each chapter. Real estate is about the life you build. Hire Trish to be part of your story. Trish Williams, Keller-Williams Realty. License S.01755530, call 702-308-2878. Start your next chapter today.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this little look back into history on the 2008 crash, and hope we gave you some good information on where we're at right now and why I don't think it's going to happen again. I don't think that we have the type of factors that we had last time to make that happen.
And so if I ask you for documents you think are obnoxious, I'm sorry, it is not me.
Yeah, no, and it's good. It's safer. Lending practices is good for everybody, and we've seen that. We learned the hard way how that did not work.
Correct.
Yeah, so we thank you guys for watching our show and tuning in every week. We're right here on Hey Vegas TV, and if you want to connect with us directly, you can do that at realtycheck.vegas. All of our socials, it's a link tree for all of our information. There's a listener form there where you can just send us questions, send us feedback, and contact us directly and with anything that you have out there. So please keep tuning in and like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah. Courtney, how do people get in contact with you directly?
If you have any loan questions, please call or text me anytime, 702-416-6918.
And I'm Trish Williams. You can contact me at 702-308-2878. So Vegas, keep watching and telling your friends and everybody about what's going on here. And we will see you guys next week.